Look, nobody wants to wait 50 years to get rich, right? You want that money now, while you can actually enjoy it. So what if I told you there's a single number that could unlock that whole reality for you? And trust me, it's not what you think.
Okay, check this out. $1.6 million. Now, the magic here isn't winning the lottery or some crazy stock pick. Nope, it's actually the insane power of compounding. This is what happens when you take a single $100 bill and you just double it 14 times. That's it.
Yeah, from just 100 bucks. That is the power of explosive, rapid growth we're talking about. Sometimes all it takes is one key moment, one deal, or one calculated risk to change absolutely everything. So today, we're going to break down the 15 fastest ways to get rich legally. But I got to give you a heads up. These are not the safest paths. They are, however, the quickest.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll look at the foundational, kind of slower fast tracks. Then we'll jump into some high-skill hustles. After that, things get a little crazy. We're entering the financial danger zone. We're talking high risk, high reward. Then we'll cover luck and fame, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with the real secret that ties everything together. Sound good?
All right, let's kick things off with what we're calling the slower fast tracks. And hey, don't let that name fool you. In the grand scheme of things, these are still pretty darn fast. It's just that they require you to build a solid foundation first. And because of that, your chances of success are way, way higher.
So in this category, we've got 4 main pillars. First, you could leverage a high-income career to just consistently invest. Or you could get into real estate development and build value from the ground up. There's also getting in early on a company before its IPO. And finally, you can buy into a proven system, like a franchise.
And this chart, it lays out the trade-offs perfectly. I mean, look at this. A high-income career plus investing, that's your safest bet by far. We're talking a 60 to 80% chance of success, but it also takes the longest. Now, on the flip side, getting rich from a company IPO, it can be way faster, but your odds just tank, dropping as low as 1%. So yeah, each path has its own balance of risk versus time.
Okay, time to level up. Let's move on to our next section, the high-skill hustles. Now, this is where it's not just about money anymore. It's about using your specific skills to create or capture value directly. And yeah, the timeline here can get even shorter.
See, in this zone, you're not just investing cash, you're investing skill. You could, say, buy a piece of a small business and use your expertise to help it grow. Or maybe you build a super niche tool that a bigger company would kill for. You could master the art of sales or develop that special eye for finding hidden gems that other people just walk right past.
Let's take high-commission sales, for example. It's honestly one of the fastest legit ways to get rich with zero money or a fancy degree. But you start in what some people call the humiliation phase. I'm talking getting rejected hundreds of times. It's brutal. But if you can stick it out and you finally nail that pitch, you break through. And the payoff? An income with no ceiling, where pulling in $350 grand a year is totally realistic.
I love this quote. 1 flip feels like luck. 100 flips becomes a system, and systems make people rich. This just nails the whole idea of flipping, right? I mean, anyone can get lucky once, buy a cheap couch, sell it for a profit. It feels like a fluke, but when you do that 100 times, you're not lucky anymore. You've built a system, and it's that system, not the luck, that creates the real, lasting wealth.
Okay, you're going to want to buckle up for this next part. Seriously, from here on out, things get genuinely dangerous. We are now officially entering the financial danger zone. The methods in here are lightning fast, but they come with huge risks and demand an iron will and insane emotional control. This is where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye.
So it is absolutely crucial to get the difference here. Investing, that's the slow and steady game, right? You buy and hold for years, even decades. But leverage trading, our source literally calls it financial cocaine. It's like betting your entire life savings that the market is going to move 3% in the next 3 hours. It's that intense.
This zone, it's home to both legends and graveyards. We're talking about things like getting in on crypto or meme stocks before anyone's heard of them, or betting on the outcome of elections or major lawsuits. Or, of course, using maxed-out leverage to turn a tiny market move into a massive win. Or a total, complete wipeout.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. We're moving into a category where skill, well, it often takes a back seat to something else entirely. Let's talk about luck, fame, and fortune. These are the paths where timing, going viral, and sometimes just pure, dumb luck are the real game changers.
Yeah, these are the ones that look completely instant from the outside, right? One hit song on TikTok, and boom, your life changes overnight. But what people don't see is the 10 years of what's called invisible pain that came before it. Going viral can make you a star in a day, and then of course you've got the two purest forms of luck there are, a big inheritance or winning the lottery.
And listen, here's a super important truth about going viral that most people miss. The views themselves don't make you rich, not at all. The real wealth comes from what you do after you get all that attention. We're talking brand deals, product launches, building an actual audience. Think of it this way. The views get you the key, but you still have to open the door of monetization and walk through it. And speaking of wealth you don't necessarily earn yourself, get a load of this number. $84 trillion. That is the absolutely mind-boggling amount of wealth that's expected to be passed down from one generation to the next over the next 20 years. We are literally living through the single largest wealth transfer in all of human history. It's wild.
So we've covered a ton of ground, right? 15 different paths, from the super methodical to the completely chaotic. But you stuck with me, so here it is, the bonus I promised, the real secret to getting rich fast. And here's the twist. It's not another method, it's a principle.
And that secret is proximity. Think about it. The big life-changing opportunities, they don't happen when you're searching on Google. They happen at dinners, in private chats, inside networks of people who already know and trust each other. The single fastest way to get rich is to just be near where the money is already flowing.
Let me put it this way. Most of us start on the outside, right? We're working hard, but we don't have any real access. The key, the absolute game changer, is to intentionally get yourself into the room where it all happens. Because once you're in that room, something amazing happens. You don't have to chase opportunity anymore. Opportunity starts to see you.
And that leads us to maybe the most important point of this entire conversation. The biggest difference between rich and poor. It isn't effort, it's exposure.
You know, at the end of the day, every single path on this list works. For someone. The paths themselves don't fail. People do. They fail because they don't become the kind of person that path requires. A high-risk trader needs a totally different mindset than a franchise owner, right? So the real question for you isn't which path will I choose, it's which person am I willing to become to make it happen.